Well, a very good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the Studio Rats Q&A Live number 246. My name's James Ivy.
I'm Paul Drew.
And you're very welcome to our evening dust up on the interwebs, where we put the musical world to right. We talk about stuff that we hadn't planned, and we're joined from friends around the globe. However, tradition dictates, and I don't make these rules. I kind of do. I have to ask Mr. Drew, what have y'all been up to this week, this Easter week?
Well, I've been up at yours today.
Yeah.
That was honestly, you live too far away. It's absolutely stupid. You live 3 hours drive away.
I know.
Which I know for the Americans, that's like it's nothing, is it? But for me, who doesn't drive more than sort of 15 minutes, 3 hours. Oh, that was a kid. And then 3 hours back again. Stuff that.
Worth it though.
You poor people that have got to commute. Anyone that has to do a proper job. And hats off to you, because
I couldn't do it.
I'm done now. I can go to bed now. Night.
Good day though. We did 4 good videos. We'll talk about those later. And Easter, you had a nice Easter and stuff. Ate too much chocolate, drank too much wine.
Yeah, of course. Yes, did all of that. What else? Yeah, we've done some video. We did that jam fuzz video that hasn't done particularly well, but then no one's has. I wonder what's happening with pedals at the moment. Do you think everyone's had enough of pedals?
I wonder if.
Hold on, we'll talk about this in a minute. Sorry, what have you been up to? And then we'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, Easter, pretty much, family stuff, which has been really nice.
Nice.
Lots of days out and doing stuff and bike rides and stuff. I'm trying to get the kids up to 15 miles.
Nice.
We're on about 8 at the minute.
That's impressive. 15 miles. 15 miles is that's a decent ride.
Yeah. So we're on 8 at the minute for the 3 of us when we go out, which is still pretty good. They're only 8, so it's not like a
right.
But
yeah.
They want to be able to do to school and back, and that's a round trip's 15 miles.
Oh, okay, nice.
So see how it goes. Other than that, messing around with audio software with you. Did the video for what did I do this week? I've forgotten already. I've actually forgotten what I did the videos for this week already. Oh, the new Lewitt, the Ray mic, which everyone was raving on about at NAMM, the mic without proximity effect. It's good. I like it. It's very clever.
Okay, good.
The video hasn't done very well, but I thought I'd put a video out on Bank Holiday Monday. Fail. That was a silly thing to do.
Well, no, I don't think Bank Holiday Monday's a bad day for videos. It's probably a good day for videos because lots of people are at home and they're watching videos.
That's what I thought.
I think it's microphones are hard. It's a hard thing, especially for. No, it's a hard video to watch.
Yes,
it's
but it's a good mic, and then there's the interface that goes with it doesn't have to go with it. But if I was starting out and someone said 150 quid for an interface, I would have gone, oh god, this is going to be dire, and it's not. It's really good. Really,
what you should have done. What you should have done, and I know this is going to be controversial, and I'm going to get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say it. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because I know that I'll get in trouble and I'll end up going, why did I say that? No, forget I was going to say anything.
Wipe that out.
Yeah, I'll tell you later on.
There's other cool stuff coming. Other cool stuff that I think is cool that probably nobody else will. You haven't been here in so long. You hadn't seen the Atmos and heard the Atmos rig, had you?
Yeah. That was good. That was nice. That was nice to hear that lot. Still don't mention it during the show.
Well, I thought I'd try and get Dolby Atmos into the show at least once early doors. And that's about it. But I mean, it's not about you, mate. It's not about me.
It's not, is it?
It's not about us.
Who's it about, James?
It's about 40 Watt Phil.
About me? What? It's not about me. I had a haircut last week when you saw me.
Did you? Looking slick.
Yeah.
I didn't, but there's a story to that.
Yeah. So, gents, how are you?
Good. Oh, good, mate. What about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I put a comment in the text that you can skip later, but I love how you mentioned you'd not heard the Atmos. No, he'd not heard it, but he'd heard about it plenty.
I
Yes,
can't
it
help
was
that
not.
I'm easily, not even easily excited. I can't help that I'm very excited about stuff. I
Never,
get just as excited about pedals and speakers and amps and guitars as I do about Atmos and drums and stuff. I can't help it. I don't want to help it.
never let anyone talk bad about you getting excited about something, unless it's like things that can get you arrested. Don't talk about those.
Yeah, never. Yeah, absolutely. Never tell anyone. Yeah, never let anyone tell you that Atmos isn't interesting apart from me on this show.
Yeah, and we're just taking a piss. We know what it's like. You know?
You're only jealous.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm hella jealous.
And
I would
I'd
I'd have Atmos in my house if I could.
and I kept banging my head on his speaker. James is only about 5 foot nothing anyway, so
It's true.
You and it's the speaker that's got the big sort of red tape round it.
yeah.
To
Basically
warn
saying,
you.
do
Kept
not.
smacking
I need
my
to put
poor head.
the stickers, the actual official warning stickers. I need to put one of those on it. Do
That
not
look-
bash.
That looked really nice. Yeah.
Every time I list a guitar for sale or I talk about a different guitar, I get messages like, "How many guitars do you own?" I'm like, "Stop ragging. This is the one and only hobby I have. It's the one and only thing that gets me excited in this world. I'm gonna have the stuff. It's gonna be fine."
And you buy and sell, so it's
I do.
Yeah.
Admittedly, in the last few years, I've done more buying than selling, and that's been the problem.
yeah.
But you know,
It's the best.
I do sell off pedals pretty often. I do big sales too, where like I'll sell 3-4 grand worth of pedals in a month.
Wow.
Well, it's because I'll stack them up for a year and a half. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff goes out. I used to have a shop that would just buy them all at a decent rate from me, but the market slowed down, so they can't offer that same rate anymore. So
in the intro, we were talking about pedals. Do you think people are bored with pedals now?
I don't think people are bored with pedals. I think people are just not spending money right now.
You think on as a whole, guitars, pedals, amp. I mean, obviously amps because
Yeah, I think it's everything. I think it's overall financial stability on a global scale has people not spending money.
right.
I really think that's it.
So you know how they always say a good journalist can quote 3 sources to any single piece of information.
Yeah.
I can't quote the 3 sources because I've said I wouldn't. But I heard something quite scary today. Yesterday, in fact, from 3 different people. So I know there's more than a modicum of truth to it. No matter where you are on tariff-gate, whether you're this side of the pond, that side of the pond, and whether you agree with it or disagree with it, I don't think there's any doubt that short term there is a problem. It's going to affect the industry massively. Now,
Yeah.
I heard that there's a get out of jail free card for tech companies like Apple, for example.
Phones, computers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Now, there was going to that exemption was also going to pass on to music tech as well. And someone, I don't know the person's name, from the NAMM organization pushed for it not to include music tech.
What?
For it not to. Now, and I kind of get it long term, because the idea of having all American amp builders and pedal builders building all American amps with all American parts is fantastic. But that's 10 years down the track when America gets its production. America isn't a country that makes stuff anymore. Like the UK, we don't make many things. We're a service economy now, much like America is. Farming is different, but we don't generally make stuff. It's not the biggest percentage of our GDP.
Right.
And I get
we assemble stuff in the US.
Getting back to it is fantastic, but getting back to it is not a quick fix.
It's a 20-year plan.
And it's going to take pedal. I think it's going to hit the music industry not just hard, it's going to cripple the music industry.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're going to see a lot of the smaller builders, be it amps, guitars, anything that involves parts coming, foreign parts, and let's face it, that's everything. It's going to hit them hard. And I think we're going to see a lot of smaller companies and probably some bigger companies go under.
I've seen a lot of people who have said, and most everyone is against this. Like they understand that the damage is being done. But I've heard some people say, well, I guess the used market is where it's going to be at. Now, no, it's not. Here is the problem with trusting the used market. The used market in guitar gear is huge compared to other fields. I'm just going to say fields, right? It's one of those rare industries where, you know, a guitar that you buy today, as long as it's not destroyed, is a viable instrument 70 years from now, right? You don't get that even in automobiles. Most 70-year-old cars are not usable other than as showpieces, right? The difference is people overestimate how much gear is on the used market. There's not enough gear on the used market to meet the demand of the number of guitar players that exist in the world. And so the used market will not stay cheap. It's going to go up.
It's the same thing as happened to cars during COVID.
Yeah.
Because
I was getting more than you were getting more than new value for cars, for used cars.
Yeah. Used my car, because it didn't go anywhere for 18 months. I hadn't even got to a third of the quota for my lease. That car was worth a lot more than I expected it to be. Sadly, that cannot be said for the same for the current car. But yeah, but it's, you know, it's going to hit the industry hard. Now, people say, "Oh, but that's fine. They'll just sell to other markets."
No.
But the difference is, when America is 60% of your market, no one can take a 60% hit. The rest of the world might pick up a few percent here and there, but 60% of your market vanishing, or 60% of your market having 145% increase in cost, it's just so 100. I worked it out. £100. I'm doing it in pounds just because.
Sure, I can do the conversion in my head.
£100 pedal instantly became a £260 pedal.
Whew. And so for you Americans, add a third of that to the top to those numbers, and that's the American number.
It's mental. At this point, I'm going to bring in the voice of reason, quite frankly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vinny the Axe.
Happiness has arrived. Awesome.
Voice of reason. I'm like, I think they got the wrong guy. What?
You weren't sure I was bringing you on, wait.
So I'll give you an interesting thing, because I messaged a buddy of mine who is a sales manager at a guitar center in a pretty sizable city. And because I was asking him, because I've had some stuff listed on the used market and I've been dropping prices. And I'm at that point where I just want to take everything down. Like, yes, that's going to mean, okay, no new purchases for a while, because that's where the money to buy new things was going to come from. But I was curious because I'm also on the gear page. The only reason I go to the gear page is for the classified section. I stay out of the rest of it because it don't go there. But it's the same 250 guitars, say, you know, however many pages wide, say even less than that have been there for 2 months.
Really?
Nothing's moving.
Wow.
And so not even used, nothing's moving. So I asked him, so how are things for you? Because they're a pretty sizable store in the South, and usually do pretty well. They're the only significant music store in their city too. There's a couple of that have gone out and a couple that are okay. He said, it's very, very slow. He said it's not quite standstill, but it is slow. He said PA is the worst. He said PA is dead. He even told me all the price increases that have already hit. Like a QSC subwoofer went up by $500.
Whoa.
The Nord Stage 3 went up by $300.
Wow.
Yeah, like stuff's already rising. I've already been told by someone that Yamaha is about to have price increases across the board on May 1st. I don't know if that's just Yamaha or all of the Yamaha brands, Ampeg, Line 6, all so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think Fender's even talking about another one, and they just did a price increase.
Wow.
Yeah, and like right now, it's not really. I'm in the same boat with you, Phil. I don't want to give guitars away. You know what I mean? You take a massive hit, especially when you sell on Reverb. You take a massive hit selling it to begin with, and then by the time you sell now, because nobody wants to spend any money, you're just giving. So I kind of put almost everything on hold. I'm kind of just waiting for things to maybe settle or things to change, but I don't know. And then people are just scared. I think that's the other thing. Every time something big like this happens, people get scared, and nobody wants to spend money on hobbies or, things that are not necessities. And then we're like left in this limbo. And
where
scary.
would you say the stuff you're selling is price wise? It's presumably it's not budget beginner stuff, and presumably it's not super high end stuff. It as always, the budget stuff will stay cheap because budget is always cheap. The super high end stuff will always sell because the people who are spending money on super high end stuff somehow always seem to have money. It's the middle ground stuff that doesn't shift.
I've got stuff. Currently, I've got guitars ranging from $1,900 to about $5,500 listed, and I'm getting nothing. And that's not even like the weird trade offers that I would get. Would you take this made in Mexico Strat that's super fancy because Jim Bob Joe that was a local hero played it? 36 pedals and the transmission from a 74 Ford. Like, I'm not even getting those, and I used to get those every day.
Wow.
I haven't even had someone try to offer me a gun yet. By the way, that's an American thing.
I'm not getting the stupid people on Facebook Marketplace who try to say, "Is the item still available?" And as soon as someone says that, you know full well
it's a scam.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Is it? Yeah. As soon as I say is the item.
Yeah. Not is this still available? Because if it's is this still available, there's an automated response that you used to accidentally be able to click in Facebook Marketplace. That's an automated thing that they accidentally clicked it. But yeah, is the item? Nope, you're a scam. Not worth my time. I'd instant delete.
Yes. Go away.
And I've had some good luck on Facebook Marketplace, surprisingly so. People with cash, I sold a couple of Nick Huber's cash. A guy came here, with hundreds.
I want to
just, but that's, I don't know. I just, like you said, you got people that want to. I had one guy that wanted to trade me. He says, "Will you take a desk bicycle?" And I go. So I text him back. I said, "Did you just say a desk bicycle?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What the hell is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's a bicycle that you put on your desk to pedal your feet to keep you moving."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, no."
Jeez.
It's like, I don't know.
Wow.
By the way, that was a Nord Stage 4, not 3 that I was talking about. The 3's the old one.
But still,
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the moment it's a buyer's market. If you've got the money to buy stuff at the minute, you can pick up some absolute bargains.
100%.
But if you don't have the cash, like it sounds like hardly anybody does, not a great time.
No. It's rough. I want to tell you before. I know y'all got to dive into these comments at some point, but I got to tell y'all a really fun story about selling gear and weird confusions.
Okay.
So in 2022, I could pull up my Reverb to tell you exactly when I sold a DOD 250 overdrive pedal. Right, reissue, nothing special, $100. Boxed it up. And I took it to work with me to put in the mail drop at work. So the postal service would just pick it up there. No big deal. Well, time passes and it never gets where it's supposed to be going. Never gets there. And I put in inquiries with the postal service. I do some looking into it, talk to the postmaster. Nothing. There's nothing they can do about it. I probably got a little more angry about it than I should have. Luckily, it was $100 pedal. I ultimately sucks, but it's not going to break me. I refunded the guy his money. Time passes. I move on. Monday of this week, I'm cleaning out the library to take some stuff that we're not using anymore. And if I say a laminator, do you know what a laminator is? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was a 3M cold laminator. It has the lamination on the rolls. You roll it and puts them together. Anyway, it was mine. We'd been using it at the library. I finally bought us like a good hot laminator. So I was taking mine home. And I got it and the couple of extra cartridges to bring home, got them home. And one of the boxes of the extra cartridges felt lighter than it should have been. I was like, what? That's weird. So I open it up and lo and behold, what do I discover?
Hey.
So what happened is I had used one of those boxes as a shipping box and put it in the postal drop at work. One of my staff thought it was an incoming mail of a bonus cartridge for the laminator and put it in the cabinet where we store all of that stuff. And I never saw it again.
That's weird.
It's so stupid. But yeah, I have a DOD and it's worth about $40 less than when I sold it originally.
Oh, that's a shame.
Keep it for 25 years. It'll be worth something.
That's the plan. I'm just going to keep it at this point.
Hey, is your brothers turned up yet?
So I was going to talk about that a little later, but yeah, I've actually already put up a video yesterday morning about it. And for my tiny little YouTube channel, I think it's the first time I've ever had over 1,000 views in less than 24 hours on a video.
Nice.
So I just did a brief comparison between. So what I did is I took my King of Tone.
Yeah.
I dialed it into my favorite setting only on one side. I wasn't about to try to do like a full like breakdown. On the red side, tried to match it over here. And spoiler alert, can't do it. It gets real close. The gain character and texture is the same, which is a big deal. I've not found any other overdrive that does the gain texture like the King of Tone. But this, the brothers, there's this thing that happens in the low mid, somewhere in that 150 to 300 range. That's me guessing. I don't have the ears that some folks have. I think that's about where it is, where this has this like 150 to 300. I won't even call it a bump. It's just not a cut. The brothers doesn't have it. And so there's this like low mids thing that doesn't happen in the brothers. So
I wish you had told me last week before I spent 500 quid on it.
Oh, you're going to love it. No, seriously. It's not that I don't think this is worth it. I think it gets the character really well. And I think the additional features are worth it. And I've got a gig this weekend, so I'm going to put both on my pedal board and switch between them and see if live I miss that low mids. So I may not miss it at all.
Awesome.
I play in a trio too, so if it's not there and it's important, I'll know it real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll let the two of you and the wider audience into a little secret today. Paul came over and I made him play through an amp that I thought he was going to hate.
Oh, really?
And
I thought I was going to hate it.
And he had full on sniff the fart happy face.
What?
Stank face. Vinny, that's UK stank face.
Yeah.
Face, yeah.
Sniff the fart face. And I tell you what, I thought the day has come when actually Mr. Drew is going to appreciate good things. So that video.
You're not going to tell us what the amp is?
No, I'm not going to tell you. The video will be live tomorrow.
No, you can tell him it's 5150.
Oh, yeah. You gotta love a 5150. That is Mississippi magic right there.
Yeah, of course it's Mrs. Yeah, I didn't think. Yes, that's the neck of the woods, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. It's really good. This was the original block letter one.
Yes.
And
I don't actually know that they're any better than any of the others. But
I don't know either.
Like we do.
Great. What a monstrous sounding out. I mean, it's got far too much gain on it. And unusable gain. It's like 4 is like Eddie Van Halen tone. It's that,
and then after that, it's out of this world.
It's mush.
Well, lower above that, you got to be down to like C to appreciate it.
Yeah,
tune down to C.
It's pointless. It's pointless. They should have stopped the gain. Like obviously, make it push a little bit. But no, it's good. What a great sounding amp. But anyway, video coming out tomorrow with that.
Awesome. Look forward to that one.
let's get in some of these questions and comments and stuff. We'll bundle through all the salutations, but we will do them all because we do.
James, you mind if I jump to one of the comments ahead because it was relevant to what we were just talking about? Is that okay, or is that throwing a wrench in the mix?
No.
How much ahead is it? How long will it take to get there, or have you got to go or something, Vin?
No. I just figured that it would take a while to get to it. So
okay. No, let's do it.
Because somebody talked about the TC Electronics plethora pedal. Blue Note Guitar posted it at 3:16 p.m. and it said that it went from 399 pounds to 699 pounds. I noticed that as well. Over here in the States, it went to an astronomical number where you can buy a damn fractal for a fractal VP4 for like, close to that price. So I thought that was kind of nutty.
Here we go.
You found it. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, I saw it pop in when we were talking, and I wanted to just.
Is that true? So this is on Anderton's.
I haven't seen it, but I could tell you Sweetwater, it jumped up. I think it was Sweetwater I saw it on. It did the same thing. And I was like, what the hell is that?
What is going on?
That's not going to sell at that price. They just had them on sale for $50 off each unit because I don't think they were really selling.
Why would you buy a plethora when for that money, when that money's more or less what the fractal VP4 costs?
Yeah. Sorry to Shanghai the flow. I just saw that and I figured it was relevant.
Or an HX Effects or a insert anything.
Anything else. Yeah. There you go.
But does this mean that, because I didn't think that all the second-hand gear was going to go up, but as you said earlier, Phil, you think that all the second-hand
it absolutely will.
But then if no one's buying,
it's a really contradictory term, isn't it? Because, well, here's the other thing to think about. As these prices go up, I think I can count on one hand, we'll say one hand, the number of times I've seen a company raise prices due to whatever reason and then see them come down if those situations go away.
Right. Okay.
That's rare. So I think as the prices go up, I don't think we're going to see them come back down.
Yeah, the price of crude oil does this.
Yeah.
A lot. The price of petrol or gasoline generally does that. It occasionally does that, but
But hold on a second. So this is Anderton's. Mm-hmm. Is this because Anderton's have just got a new batch in and it's cost them 500 quid?
That I don't know, because like I said, I saw it on Sweetwater. The price is jacked up too. So unless
this is a Behringer thing, I know we bag on Behringer quite a lot, but is this a Behringer money making thing?
Because Behringer stuff is all made in China.
Oh,
well, it is.
The X5 is $1,000 on Sweetwater.
Yeah, I saw it go up something nuts. Yeah,
it's
correct.
It's $999.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I saw it this week.
145% on goods coming from China.
Because if you've got one of these to sell right now, you just go, hold on a second. I was asking 200 quid for it, and now I'm going to ask
500 quid. Yeah.
It's crazy. Okay, let's get back to the.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Get on track.
The world's gone mad. Okay.
I'm sorry. There we go.
Al says, "Hey up, one and all, from the joys of Travel Splodge." By the way, Americans, Travel Splodge is Travel Lodge, which is a cheap range of. It's not cheap, right? Yeah, a budget
motorway hotels.
We have travel lodges.
Yeah. Oh, you do? Okay, great. Yeah, we call them Travel Splodge in Cambridge. Living the dream. Hope all is well. That's Al. Cheers, Al.
Al's with a rehearsing, a well-known rehearsing group this week, ready for it to go out on tour.
What? Who's the band? He can tell us.
I don't know. It hasn't told me.
Buddy Rich Orchestra. Okay. Is that what he's doing?
What's he doing?
I don't know who he's doing.
What bands are from Cambridge? I'm trying to think what famous bands are from Cambridge.
Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Katrina and the Waves.
Katrina and the Waves. Nabs, hello chaps. Hope you're all good and well. Cheers. And you, Nabs. Daniel, good evening. Rat Pack from a mostly cloudy and warm. It's always warm in North Carolina. Just received a new octave divider reverb from Licklem Audio. The as above, so below pedal. Still running it through its paces. Have you guys tried any Licklum? And I don't suppose you're getting much over in.
I had never heard of them until that comment.
So Licklum is a.
I was going to give you props on the pronunciation because I wouldn't know how to say that.
Do you know what? I only know because the last time I was at Gear Street, which is Henning's event, Licklum were there.
Right.
They do. It's very, very, very industrial metal. I'm using the wrong word there. It's not industrial metal. They're metal amps. He makes these amazing, very, very, very high gain, very, very, very clean. You know,
I just
clean,
looked one up. The amp is beautiful.
Oh, they're absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's
100 to 200 watts, depending on your choice of.
yeah. It's to me. I mean, Licklum. The guys are fantastic from Licklum. It's not the amp for me, or for any of us here. It's too clean, too dirty. But it's amazing. I mean, you know, and all the metal guys, this is like the holy grail sort of
right. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the channels that have demoed them, and I'm like, yep, this is not my amp.
Yeah,
not my amp.
But he also makes pedals as well, and he does like analog pedals and digital pedals. So that's the digital pedal, and it's supposed to be great.
Nice.
The only thing for me about that pedal is it should be stereo, and I think it's a mono pedal from what I remember. But anyway.
Anywho.
Daniel, but I found it has surprisingly good shimmer reverb. Yes, exactly. That's why it should be. That's why it should be a stereo reverb for me. So you can, you know, at least use it in that situation if you want to. If you want that big sort of recording, big, you know, stereo ting going on. Jeff, good morning from Brisbane. We may be drenched in sunshine today. We may be simply drenched, depending on which part of Weatherman's. Each way, bet wins. I hope everyone's well. And you, mate. I love Pete Stone. Pete Stone. So Pete Stone's joined us. He says, greetings, rats. Thanks for having me. Pete, you're more than welcome. Everyone loves Pete Stone. Even Kenny Arnoff loved Pete Stone. I think Pete Stones. It's not the real Pete Stone because it's not Pete Stones.
I love Pete Stones.
I know it's not real. It's not Pete Stones. I love Pete Stones. Jelly Sex. Greetings, gents. When combining something like the Tone King Imperial preamp with analog pedals and multi-effects modeler, is it better to put the preamp in the loop of the modeler or vice versa? Well, it all depends. If you want, if you want the modeler, if you want to use it in like 4 cable method, where you'd want to put some of the modelers pre-amp effects in, like compressors and distortions, that sort of stuff, overdrives, or if you just want to use it as your effects.
So that's a man. So with something like the because I immediately thought of something like the HX effects, right? Because I use that. I actually have one. I use it a lot. And then my mind did this whole thing where, but some things I want in front of that. So I want the Tone Master in the loop of the HX effects because I want things going into that. But then that's also got reverb and tremolo that I want after some of the other effects that I want to. So I would want to go out of the loop of the HX effects into the Tone King, out of its loop back into the Helix, out of the Helix back into the return of the Tone King, and then out of the Tone King to where I'm going.
Jeez, that is that's craziness.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do it because it's got an effects loop, right? The Tone King. Yep. So you could absolutely do it. It's just you're now at like 6 cable method.
Yeah, but you could just do it 4 cable method if you wanted to.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, but yeah. Why not? I mean, I mean, personally, I think I would have analog pedals before the Tone King, and then run the Tone King into the effects because I like stereo stuff.
Oh, see, that tracks. That totally.
Yeah, if I had that, I would totally make a separate pedal board and use a couple of choice, analog pedals with it, and then save the HX effects for something else. You know what I mean? It's always nice to have like different boards.
Yeah. Oh, look at James choking on his wine.
Is that crystal? That's nice.
It is actually.
Oh my gosh!
Nice. I didn't have a wine glass in the studio, so I had to go and grab one from
Phil, you see how the other half lives over there?
I do. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
I've got
My shit's made out of like recycled Coke bottles.
I mean,
Although
don't get me wrong, I've hardly got the world's largest bottle of wine, and that's not prospective either.
also, but I mean, my coffee mug was kind of expensive, so
Oh, nice. It's like
Nice.
$89. Now it's
Right.
$250 this week.
yeah, 'cause this
Because it was
definitely
made
came from
in
China. This definitely came from China.
Not just made from China, but made in China.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had somebody make a comment on the James Tyler MK1
Oh yeah.
this week, and they said something that, they said nice guitar, they weren't rude or anything, and they were like, but it's they said, but it's made in China, and I said, fair enough, because I would love to have an American one, right?
Yeah.
I said, fair enough. I said, but I'm replying to you on my iPhone that's from China. And then their response, I figured their response would be like, okay, good point, right? But no, their response back was, yeah, I don't use Apple products. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever phone you're
Yeah, no,
using
wait.
is from China.
You can't-
Yeah, he's replying on his Huawei.
Or his Samsung. Okay, maybe Singapore
Yeah.
Maybe.
or Korea. I'm sorry,
Here's the thing, and I know you guys want to get to the comments, so I'm gonna make this as fast as possible. If you can teach any human, not any human, let me back up. 10% you can't teach anything. That's fact, but 10% of the population. But if you could teach a person who's skilled in any part of the world to do a job, and they could do that job remarkably well, right? And also humans can make mistakes. So if people are going to tell me that USA guitars are better built than any guitars coming from anywhere else, I seriously challenge that. And the reason why I say that is you can go on one of the large, and I don't care. You can go on Sweetwater's website, okay, and go look at all the Gibson guitars. Because when I was in the market, I look, and then you can go click on all the ones that are like, factory blemished or whatever, scratch and dent or whatever the hell they call it. And sometimes in that group, there might be 4 of them that are in that category, right? And you'll see the damage to the guitar. And it's not like somebody bought it and scratched it. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see finish cracks at the nut where the nut's been installed, or finish cracks at the neck joint, stuff like that. There is not some secret, organization of people buying these guitars and cracking the finish around the nut. That is happening at the factory. And that's a USA built guitar. So, I get it. I'm all USA. I live here. I get it. But at the same token, it's very disappointing when you want to buy a USA guitar and then you worry that the guitar you're going to buy is going to show up with finish cracks all over it at $2,500 or $3,000 or $4,000. So I'll take the $1,700 guitar, and it had a little bit of an issue, but nothing crazy. And this is typical of no matter where you buy the stuff from. That's my soapbox.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I will still covet American guitars though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I get it. Totally get. I would love to have a Tyler American guitar. I can't. I can't right now. Like, I feel sick even talking about how much they cost. Like, I can't afford one of those.
So part of that comes from a lot of different reasons, but electric guitar and electric guitar culture are still pretty new. They're still relatively new. Up until the early 1900s, the early 20th century, all guitars were acoustic or classical, until suddenly they start to be made electric in America for jazz music. And then from there, we get so much further after that. But the traditions of electric guitar were founded in the United States. So it is easy for us as guitarists to always tie back to that tradition and covet those things. And so you've got a tradition of American guitars. It's just like my brain is going for like some other parallel, but like really blanking. Like, I wouldn't trust American made poutine. I don't know. Something like that. But this is where the culture of it came from, even though it's spread worldwide now.
But it's interesting that we're only 100 years in to electric guitar. We're 100 years in. But someone said to me the other day, we're only 170 years into powered flight. And look how far we've come. From the Wright brothers to Concorde And even Concord was 60 years ago now. You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, think about it even further. We're only 50 to 60 years into quality guitars being made not in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when, and I don't know if this is even, I don't want to go this deep, but I don't even know if this really stems from, I remember, back in the day years ago, you got to remember you had World War II, right? America was at war with Japan, all that stuff. And people used to be really like vexed against the Japanese culture and Japanese people. And so they would not buy Japanese cars. I mean, I've heard people, even as a kid, say they would never buy a Japanese car, blah, blah, blah. So maybe there's a lot of that still lingers with the whole Asian market and stuff. I don't know, but I will say that they used to talk crap about guitars that were made in Japan back in the day. Now Japan is like one of the elite manufacturers. You look at some stuff coming out of Japan,
Japanese guitars back in the 80s, there were some rotters.
Oh,
but then again, like we're talking about, everything is on CNC machines now. Everything's done within like 1/10 of a fraction of a human hair as far as variance goes. So whether the CNC machines overseas somewhere or over here, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference is getting the personnel to do the quality control checks at the end. That's and obviously teaching them the techniques to build, but they could do that. It's just it's having a keen eye, not. I think I don't know. I mean, like for instance, why don't we ever apply this to German-made guitars?
Well, German are known for their quality and their their attention to detail.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think that anybody can have attention to detail anywhere, in my opinion. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've had some Nick Huber guitars, and there wasn't a blemish on that guitar. There wasn't a tool mark, nothing.
Oh yeah.
You ever played a Tausch? You ever played a Tausch guitar?
No, never got my hands on it.
That it's the closest thing to a perfect guitar I've ever played in my entire life. He does some relic ones too, but like his non-relics, he makes one called the Lagrange. Don't get me wrong, we're talking Nick Huber prices here for these guitars, but he doesn't even allow plastic to touch his guitars. Like there's no plastic on the instrument. There's no pickup rings. Everything's mounted directly to the wood. The back covers are wood. There's metal and wood, no plastic, and it is perfection.
Hey, can I go back to something you said earlier, Vinny, about a Sweetwater and the Gibsons there? So you can go and get a factory second, can you? You can go and get a factory second Gibson in the US.
Not anymore.
No, they're like either customer returns or they call it. Are they called blemishes, Phil? I can't remember what the terminology is called. Demos. They're called demos. So, like for instance, when I was looking for a gold top, and eventually in the end, I actually wound up buying the Paul Reed Smith Santana gold top. But I was looking for a gold top Les Paul, and they had like 4 of them in that category of where they were scratched or demoed, like Phil's saying, and every one of them had like cracks at the nut, like in the finish.
I want to show you something.
This is a demo model.
Is it? I used to have a demo, so it's got demo on the back of the headstock.
See if you can see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
I used to have a 335 or a demo, and we were told, or the shop told me that I bought it from was that it was a demo model. So it was at the Gibson garage, and it was lent out to a couple of people. So I didn't know. Is that correct, or is that not?
Yeah, so that's generally what it is. It's guitars that they've allowed an artist to use, whether it's on the road or for a one-off show, or maybe they were used as a
trade
show model, something like that. And this one is a double weirdo because this is a demo mod shop. So this is like a double weird one because it's an R4 with humbuckers instead of P90s.
Yeah, I had a mod shop V at one time. It was a good guitar.
Yeah, this is a great guitar. I suspect, having played it for a little while, and I am like the 3rd owner of it. No, second owner. I suspect if you can see the little birthmark right there next to the plate.
Yeah.
I suspect that is why it was a demo model to begin with.
Okay, so I want to show. I wasn't going to show this until it was resolved, but I will show it.
Okay.
I've got a Murphy Lab 335.
Right.
This isn't an old one. This is a fairly recent one, and it's, I don't know if you can see it. You can see there. Just
yeah.
look at that. It's starting to. It's the finish is starting to flake off.
Yeah, remember I told you I had a Murphy Lab SG, one of the first ones, and the finish, I just put it on the bench and to change the strings, and the finish was falling off the horns.
Oh,
It was just literally falling away.
But so Gibson had this issue. I know that we all know that Gibson did have this issue, but
And they fixed it. I thought they corrected it. Yeah, I don't know.
Supposedly.
So yeah, I'm a bit. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It's either going to be, I'm just going to take the finish off the whole neck. But
Have you talked to Gibson about it?
Not Gibson direct. I've talked to. I've sent James and I's friend in Gibson.
Talk to them direct. So I had a Thunderbird bass.
Yeah.
That when I got it, now I got it secondhand, but I was the second owner. And it had some finishing issues, and that series of Thunderbirds had finish issues. So I contacted Gibson. They wanted some pictures. They said, okay, we're going to send you a shipping label, send it to us. I was like, well, I'm going to be in Nashville in like a week and a half. Can I just bring it by, like, rather than ship it? So yeah, that's fine. So I let them know when I came. They looked at it. They looked it over, and they looked at the issues I had. They said, yep, that's an issue. Here's why it's doing it. And then he proceeded to look at the rest of the instrument and go, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. He said, I'm going to take it to my guys. He said, we'll see what we can do. He said, when it's a finish issue like this, almost always we replace it. So they looked at it. 2 days later, they gave me a new one.
And see, and that's my point of this whole thing is that no matter where the guitar is built, there can always be an issue or always be something. It's not because, I see somebody made a comment, said, I don't know anything about guitars. I've only owned 400 of them, but at least. But I will tell you that based on that comment, I've owned a Sir. Mm-hmm. I've owned actually 5 Sirs. And yes, 4 out of the 5 were absolutely stellar. And then I bought one from Sweetwater, and the nut was cut wrong. And it was buzzing on the first fret, and I sent it back. So there are American guitars, and they are made spectacular, but once in a while, humans are flawed, and material is flawed sometimes, and you're gonna get that stuff. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. We refer to them as Friday afternoon jobs.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, it's
yeah.
After the pub. People
Yep. Here we go. Let's get back into it.
Yeah, because we're going to be Mr. Abraham. He says, James, saw the Nano C, the Nano Cortex has an update today. Have you still got yours? So this is in the news.
I was about. So here's my problem with it. I was about to do the update, and I've still got the box. I've got the box. He's got the box. And I was about to think about doing a video for it because I thought that'll get some views. Then I thought, hang on. Much like the Romans, what have Neural ever done for us?
Well, the Romans. Very good.
What have the Romans ever done for us?
Yeah, very good.
Classic. Gave us democracy, republic, sanitation.
I
think you need to. I think that needs to just be put on the market, mate. And then
I think I need to get rid of it because as much as the update does a few extra things, it doesn't change the fact that the captures don't sound the same as they do on the quad.
Yeah,
we have proved this. Let's keep going.
El Quinto Vernes Azul. Hello, El Quinto Vernes Azul. We might have to shorten your name if
that's a cool name, actually.
I'm going to go with Hola.
Hola. Okay, very good. Mr. Casardi says happy 246th rats. Cheers, mate. Hope you're well. Chris Williams, I'm guessing that Pete Stones is also Steve Cassidy. Chris Williams, evening all folks. One of these days I'll have a question. Well, it's good to have you on. El Quinto, that's what we're gonna
Blue Friday. Just call him Blue Friday.
Blue Friday.
Technically he's the 5th Blue Friday, but just call him Blue Friday.
Is it one question? 2-point and 6 screw start bridge. The block has the same spacing. One question, 2-point.
Or he's asking 2-point or 6 screw strat bridge. Does the block have the same spacing?
Oh. As in like a vintage.
No, be careful with that because sometimes not.
Because even 2-point to 2-point isn't the same.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And 6 screw to 6 screw isn't the same. You're going to need to look at your very specific bridge.
Thanks, boys, because
Yeah.
I'm lost at that one.
JP, evening all, evening JP. Thierry says, just had the crazy tube circuits Venus, and I love it. Oh, nice one. That's a cracking pedal.
Oh, yeah, it is. I want one.
See, why did I go and buy Brothers? I've got
He's I don't know if he is below you, but from me, he's below you. That's what you did.
You did impulse buy that fast too.
Huh?
Yeah.
You did impulse buy that very quickly.
I got cocky. I
think you'll enjoy. I think you'll enjoy it, and if you don't, you will have no trouble moving it. They're going for $700 on Reverb.
What?
Yeah, because they sold out of the first batch of 4,000. They're already taking a pre-order for another batch of 2,500.
Wow.
Wow.
It was their most successful launch in the history of Chase Bliss.
Mate, oh, well done, Chase Bliss. Congratulations. That's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Michael MC, have you all tried any Eastman guitars? If so, thoughts? I haven't tried any Eastmans.
Me neither.
I tried it.
That's
I tried to get near one at NAMM last year, and I could not get near one of the. What's the new one called? Like Rosetta Stone. What the hell is it called? I don't know. It was called something. The name of the model.
Julietta. Was it the Julietta or the?
It almost looks like a Novo kind of. And man, those things were just getting molested in the booth. I couldn't get near them.
Nasty.
I tried the 335 copy type one. I can't remember what it's called, but it was great guitar. But again, the only problem is, and the only reason I wouldn't buy an Eastman is because it hasn't got Gibson on the headstock.
Supposed to be really good quality. What, Phil, have you tried any?
I've tried a bunch of them. I think they make great guitars. A lot of people like to tout them as an affordable alternative to Gibson. Here's another one of those arguments Chinese make guitars. I can't remember the exact model, LB55, SB55, whatever it is. That's the Eastman Junior P90 single cut. They also make a dual cut. Is $1,750. A Gibson Les Paul Jr. is $1,650.
You're in the same territory. Get the Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your resale is going to be better if you don't like it. It's just going to. That's not to say Eastman doesn't make great guitars. They do, but they're not actually cheaper.
Yeah,
And it hasn't. And I'm sorry that
and they're also about to go up by 145%.
Yeah, but you know there aren't many brands where you can buy them and not lose money.
Yes.
Fender, Gibson, PRS just happen to be three of them.
Yeah. And out of the hundreds of guitars that I've sold used, the only time I've ever really made a profit, because I'm not a dealer, right? The only time I've ever made a profit is on I think it was Gibson, definitely Gibson's, and I think Fender's custom shops. Other than that, really not much.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're hunting the new shiny hotness,
right?
And you find one at a right price, and then you can flip it.
Yeah.
Quinto, iron block. I referred. Would you put an iron block? Have you guys tried any iron blocks on your strats?
I'm not a big block changer. I play what's in it typically. I mean, I own one guitar with a Strat trim.
Well, I mean, is you referring to like sometimes they're made up of different stuff, so like steel and whatever they're made of. As long as the block is heavy and it has resonance, I think most of the time you're okay. Don't quote me on that. I've changed a couple out to brass, but I've bought them from Callahan. I've changed them out from that, and then when you change the block, you got to be careful because your tremolo arm might not fit that block. So then you got to pretty much get a new tremolo arm too. So
as Paul and I would say, we are very much into cork sniffing territory.
Oh, hardcore!
When you're changing the material of the trem block, you know there are definitely bigger things you can do to change the tone of a guitar.
But what I will say though is if you have a tremolo that has a very, very tiny tremolo block and you have it floating, I can feel the difference of resonance in the guitar from a heavier block. I didn't do tests with steel versus brass or any of that, but I could tell when it's got a super skinny chintzy block on it and it's floating and you change it to a heavier block, you can feel it instantly when you're playing. Now, can anybody hear that? I don't know, but I could feel it.
Most
Now,
of the
if
time,
you-
that's because those thin ones are pot metal. They're not
Yeah.
even like solid metal. They're so porous.
Yeah. And the other thing is like a lot of guys with strats, if you deck your bridge and it's touching the top of the body and you got 5 springs, don't even bother changing the block. You're making contact. You got so much stuff going on there. It's not even worth it.
Agreed.
Anton, hi all. Hi, Anton.
He's waving.
Graham, evening, Graham, everyone. Evening, Graham. Ah, Mr. Travis. Hello, gents from South Carolina. Hi, Travis.
I'm not even gonna bother with the next one because
Yeah, we covered it.
Yeah. Jamie Brown, you mentioned you'd appreciate more views. Maybe letting the controversial out would help.
Ooh, there's a take.
Yeah, I think the only thing is that. Oh, hold on. You mentioned you'd appreciate more views. What, more views on the live stream?
I think he was talking about when you had you said your most recent video wasn't doing great. The fuzz or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, no one's, so a few people reviewed the same pedal, and everyone's, wasn't up to the usual numbers on anyone really.
Fuzz is a hard sell.
The problem is with being controversial is
You're controversial.
I wouldn't even go that far. It's that if you're going to say something that is quote unquote controversial, you've got to be absolutely 100% certain with your information and your sources. Now, someone like KDH, and I'm only thinking of him because I know he does spend a lot of time on his videos, and they're great. It's not for us. I don't want to be the Roger Cook of the pro audio guitar world. I don't want to be that guy.
People love
negativity. KDH is doing it. So we
yeah. People love people love negativity. People like to watch something and go, oh, there's some drama. People like drama. I'm not really into drama.
Yeah.
I'm more into factual stuff. But if something needs to be said,
drama is one thing, drama is quite another.
No, I feel the same about drummers.
So now's not a good time for me to tell you I just bought a semi truck full of TC Electronic plethora pedals.
Well, so here's the deal: as far as the views go, and being all in the controversy or controversy, I can't say
controversial controversy.
Yeah, controversy. You guys have 106,000 subscribers. You're doing all right without being controversial. You're doing all right.
That's true. Yeah, thank you. That's.
And I think the negative stuff, if you want to watch negative stuff, as soon as you pull up YouTube, there's plenty of it. So I don't think you guys need to.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, there are other people who are willing to put their reputations on the line to be controversial. I don't need that.
I'm not.
I don't need that in my life.
And some people don't. And some people don't care. Like when that whole thing came out with Andertons and the part ownership of the Victory amps or whatever. Okay, the guy's a salesman. He sells musical equipment. I don't care.
Yeah.
If it sounds good and I bought it and it works, I'm happy with that.
There's been so much negativity now around quote unquote YouTubers. The internet, the YouTube community doesn't actually matter where your niche or your niche, to use the Americanism.
I say niche. You're good.
I don't actually think it matters where it is, whether you're in music or you're in high tech or you're in books or whatever. There's people in every one of those branches that are being called out by their peers.
Yep.
Okay, we've had Giacomo Gate recently, and we've had all these other things that have been going on. I don't know if you're aware of LTT, Linus Tech Tips. Computers and high tech stuff.
Yeah.
Mahoosive channel. They went through a massive bitch slap because they said a couple of stupid things and were ill-informed and were misinformed. I think the internet now, from a YouTuber's point of view, is pretty much self-policing. Now I'm sure times, that's going to come up and bite me on the arse as a quote, as a comment. But I genuinely think now you have to be so good at what you do to get noticed, because there are so many people doing it now.
I don't know. That one girl that screamed Hawk Tua into a microphone got pretty big there for a minute.
For a minute.
Yeah, for a minute. Then she had nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 50. That's the classic 50 minutes of fame, though.
Yeah, isn't it? Or
Okay,
in it.
let's move on. Let's move on because we've got lots of
So much.
Yeah.
We're at an hour in.
yes. Oof. Cheers for joining us, boys. You're always welcome. I mean, if you want to make this a regular, it's
as often as I can, which
Yeah.
won't be as often soon.
It's fun. I have a good time.
good. Gary, is there any gear that you could buy now that you could make money on selling in the future? I'm thinking about making investments. Yeah,
It's got G and F on the headstock. That's all.
Buy the entire stock of plethora X5s from Toman, where they're still underpriced.
Jeez, yeah, that's good.
I'll tell you what, if you want to make investments, Gibson on the headstock and signature models of certain people.
Don't invest in gear, y'all. Stop.
I tell you what,
That's
man, like anytime somebody's got a signature Gibson model and they only make a handful of them and the collectors buy them up, you'll see them pop up for like 10, 12, 15,000, $20,000.
How much was the Oasis bloke, the Noel Gallagher 335? How much that went up?
It's about 15 grand, I think, to start with, wasn't it?
Yeah, they went up a ludicrous amount. The daft thing is, and again, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot for this. There have been some amazing, serious vintage guitars turn up on Gardner Hallgate recently. Like a 62 Strat or some amazing instruments that are still. I think the 62 or 63 was up for like £14,000, which is a lot of money for a guitar, but it's not a lot of money for that guitar, and they didn't sell. My wife said to me, "Do you want to buy it as an investment?" I said, "Well, no, because I'd never want it to leave the building."
Yeah. It's not 14 grand. It's not 14 grand, is it? It's
No,
14 grand plus
26.5%.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's 20 grand. It's so it's yes, it might be worth. Okay, and I think if you want to Fender custom shops, always hold their value, especially if you get one. If you can get a Fender custom shop, especially the relics, not the deluxes. If you can go and buy like a relic Fender custom shop for under £2,300 in the UK, you are going to, you'll always make money because they can, that'll sell once this is all out of the way. That'll sell for £3 grand plus. And there's plenty of that. I got a good Fender custom shop telly for a good price that I'm hanging on to.
I would say the thing to buy at the moment is not gear, it's property, but it's all property. Always, and I appreciate that's not the question, but if you want,
but we're talking about something that's going to cost Gary, a few £100 or a few £1,000, as opposed to something that's going to cost him hundreds of thousands of pounds. We're talking
a beach hut in Frinton.
just don't buy historic Brighton properties.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
El Quinto, 6 screws. Okay, yeah, we're going.
We did that.
Yeah. I contact Callahan and then see what they say. That's what I would do. Jeff, speaking of jobs, today's my last day. Nice one. I'll be retiring in about 9 hours. Jeff,
congrats.
This is brilliant. I'm not rolling in cash like Vinny, but I'll get by. I'll now have more time to use the gear that I already have. Well, congratulations, Jeff.
Amen.
Congrats, man. I retired last October. It's awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. June 30th, 2037.
I mean, I could use the line that I've been lying to my wife for the last 20 years. That every morning I say I'm going to work.
Yeah.
Because this isn't work.
No.
This is a pleasure. This is an absolute joy to do by comparison to what Vinny used to do, or what people do in the city. Nah, this is a doddle. This isn't work. This is fun.
Neck debt. Fractal released new firmware today. It's worth of other brands update for years. It's worth of other brands.
Is it worth? I don't know.
Don't know.
I can't even get that one.
Well, thanks
yeah,
for letting us know, Nick.
yes,
Fractal
Fractal
Lab.
yeah.
We'll check it out. And yes, appreciate you letting us know. Blue Note, evening, fellas. Evening, Blue Note. Nick, speaking of America, Floyd Rose moved his original production to USA, introducing made in USA models. Germany could not supply Hind guitars, had to use Korean ones.
High-end guitar.
High-end.
I remember when the Floyd Rose was making those guitars, the Discovery, what they called Discoveries, and some of them had like the Floyd Rose speed loader. They had no tuning keys at the headstock. They were like a Steinberger system. They were calibrated strings that were specifically made for that guitar.
Wow. Oh, that'd be pricey.
That's like if you have a Steinberger.
Here's a tip for you. Don't buy a guitar that has to have specially made strings. Hard and fast rule.
Yeah.
I owned a couple of Steinbergers back in the day, and I'll tell you what, those calibrated strings were fantastic because they're made specifically for that thing. Double ball end, they drop in there, and they stay in tune. It's fantastic.
They do.
Speaking of guitars that won't be viable in 70 years.
Can you wait till I'm finished drinking?
Nick, electric guitar is the coolest instrument. Electric guitar is the coolest instrument ever invented. That's why the demand is so high. It's as cool as an F-35 fighter jet or a Ferrari. There we go.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, it's a damn cool thing. I mean, other than drums, which were invented millions of years ago. But hey, let's move on.
The Mexican guy in the USA. Hi there. Prices are skyrocketing. Wow.
Yeah.
They are.
Nick, there $2,000 to $3,000 high-end guitars after COVID became $4,000 to $5,000. Whose salaries doubles up in a few years after COVID? Yeah,
he's not wrong.
I wish mine did.
Yeah. Next time we've done that one.
Yeah.
A Hot 8 selling is dead right now. Damn. Yeah. Can you get desk bicycles on the cycle to work schemes? Well done, mate. That's a good point. Very good.
I mean, I tried to buy a bike on this. My accountant tried to work out if I could get a bike on the cycle to work scheme, and then she said, "You barely get on the bike before you have to get off it again when you get to work."
Yeah, it's not worth it. Blue Note question for James and Paul: given the current climate in the States with immigration, etc., will you be going to NAMM next year? Well, what's the problem with?
Is there an immigration problem?
There's not, as far as that kind of travel visa goes right now, but there are a bunch of people who have decided to not travel to the U.S. due to political climate.
Oh, I see. What? It's a bit of a protest.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I'll be there.
It's not. We're supporting the musical community, not
the political community.
Yeah,
I mean, y'all got to come because we're doing another drink. So
what's that?
Y'all got to come to NAMM. So we're doing a couple more drinks.
We'll see if we can get Paul absolutely slaughtered, so it finishes him for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, that first night was great.
Yeah, that was man, that was rough. That was a rough first night.
Yeah.
The tacos. Woo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mendel, looking forward to that 5150 video coming tomorrow, mate.
It's a great video.
I don't know, Paul, but it also guitar, and gear for music, etc. We're talking about the plethora.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. If you want to make some money, they're available on Amazon sub 400 quid.
Are they now?
Graham, the Tomer still have the X5 for $399.
But that's because the people who want them are in America, where it's expensive.
Yeah, but Andersons. If Andersons are doing that,
I don't understand why they would do that.
But it's not just Andersons; it's guitar, and gear for music.
I
reckon this is something that Behringer are doing. Behringer are saying you've got to put your prices up. It must be.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Good call for school says if a rat got caught in your poop hole, how would you get it out? This is true.
Can't we?
How would we get this? I guess you just have to pull it out.
I'd have to get that rat. That's what I'm gonna have to do.
I'm not
throw yourself in front of traffic.
I mean, there was a rat in my kitchen the other day, and I'm not joking.
Was there really?
There actually was. We've got the.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, I was going to get that rat. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was in the boot room. It was in the boot room, not the kitchen. But you know.
Oh, nasty.
Yes, we persuaded him to leave.
Good call.
Nice.
They make terrible pets.
Did you play him? You should have played him your.
I asked him to come and listen to Atmos, and he was
Yeah,
gone.
that's what I would have done, mate. That was sending right out.
You can listen to UB40 and Atmos.
Yeah. Pets, evening all with these prices skyrocketing. Do you think you could get a few hundred for my capo? Absolutely, mate. Your capo worth.
I'll sell you mine for 80.
Just relic it. Relic the paint on it or something.
Oh, you got one of those as well, Phil?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I don't have one of that model, but I got this one.
I'm going to sell relic strings. I'm going to put them in the backyard and rust them up and then sell them.
Fine, I bet.
Like the absolute like relict base strings, whereas some people put them in the boiling water. I put them in cold water to make them rust faster.
and then I'll put something on my website where they've been encased in a room listening to nothing but Jimi Hendrix for like 800 hours straight, so it's like infused in there.
In Atmos,
Few drops of vinegar in there just to speed it up.
Fra says my favorite 1x12 Celestion G12 65 creamback. What's your fave, everyone?
Nice speaker.
Mine would be the Mojo Tone, the blue one, that's like a greenback. Brilliant.
I would have to say a greenback, a good old fashioned greenback.
I put the Mojo Tone greenback, which is made by Celestion, in my Fender amp.
Mm-hmm.
Is that made by Celestion? The Mojo Tone one? Is it made by Celestion?
Yeah. I got the one called the Watchtower. It actually says Celestion on it on the somewhere on the speaker.
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Celestion Gold all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
Nice.
Favorite speaker.
I like the creamback as well.
Not too hard, not too harsh on the top end for you.
No, because typically the amps I play are mid and either mid heavy or scoopy, and it's really easy to turn the bright switch off. So
interesting.
I don't have much trouble.
Yeah, nice.
I skipped this one because he clarifies it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blue Note, it pains me to say, but I've just had my American Strats and my Made in Mexico telly back from my guitar tech. The Strat needed a full fret level dress and a telly and needed a basic setup. Oh.
I got two guitars back from Steve at Guitar Lodge this week. The Gibson Explorer, which I picked up a year or so ago, which was verging on unplayable because it was choking out up here. That thing is now an absolute monster. And I've had the what are they called? Thing with the speaker, the Dobro, made fingerstyle playable because it was set up for slide.
Nice.
Oh my god, that thing sounds good. It's so loud as well now. Loud.
Save yourself money and learn to do your own setups.
I wanted to show you guys this. This is the inside shot of that Watchtower speaker I got from Mojo Tone.
Oh.
And
it's a greenback.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I specifically saw a Celestion logo somewhere on either the basket or something on the actual speaker.
Celestion would normally stamp their marking it on into the metalwork somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was on the basket, but yeah, it is. It's got the same covering, the whole works.
Interesting
on it.
Very cool.
Mike Blue, cheers, y'all. I remember when CBS Strats were considered crap. It's all relative. So true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michael Hennessy, I got 2 CNCs and made a few guitars. Anybody start making start guitar making business? Nice one. Neck debt. There's USA guitars and there's USA guitars. Fender Gibson's overpriced. Tom Anderson, Sir James Tyler is perfect. Vinny the Axe, no disrespect, but clearly does not know too much about guitars. I think Vinny does know a hell of a lot about guitars.
No disrespect.
No one is ever not disrespectful when they say no disrespect.
Yeah, that's pretty true. That's true. But don't you think? I mean,
What they mean is that, don't they? Really, when they do it.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you think Gibson is overpriced, and don't get me wrong, because I love it, but you don't think James Tyler is overpriced?
Yeah, none of that makes any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because
Gibson and Fender are making better guitars right now than they've ever made in the history of their company.
Yep,
true,
and certainly more consistent.
Yes, consistently. I've played bursts I've played getting close to 10 bursts now, and only 2 of them would I take over either of the Les Pauls I have.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I think that whole concept that the guitar makers can't make anything as good as they used to be, and that somehow these clinically perfect versions of guitars are better, because that's a subjective thing. They aren't better because I can't play them as comfortably as I play other guitars. I play Telecasters and Les Pauls way better than I play Tom Anderson and Sirs, and I've never played a James Tyler that wasn't one of those Variax guitars. But just because there's the way they feel to me, I don't like. Same for PRS. I don't play them as well as I play some other guitars.
That's a fair point. Sven, well, Dankeschön from Germany. Well, cheers, Sven.
Beatenson.
Yes.
Michael Hennessy, Studio X Guitar Co. There we go.
Oh,
There
that could
we
be
go.
a very dangerous way to lose a lot of money quickly.
Yeah. Nick, there's US. There we go. Hold on. Okay.
And that's different at the end.
Okay. There's USA guitars and USA guitars. Don't mix overpriced Fender and Gibson with boutique Tom Anderson, James Tyler, etc. It's not right to compare Far East guitars to top level guys. I think it is.
I think it's very fair. It's very fair.
Yeah.
It's only, and don't get me wrong, I've only got boutique guitars. So but that's my own snobbery that's stopping me from playing anything else.
Yeah,
it's just my own snobbery.
I've got lots of different reasonable levels of guitar. I've got some nice custom handmadey type stuff, and I've got the Far Eastern, not necessarily always Squire versions, but I've got some cheaper guitars that I would like the more expensive versions of. Yeah. Can I justify at least 10-fold increase to upgrade the quality of my Les Paul to a Les Paul?
You've done it again, haven't you?
I have.
Done it again. Other way.
Go the other way. No,
I'm not going to make fun of them because I can't figure out mine either.
Do one finger. Just
pinch it. Just pinch.
No. I don't know. Anyway, this is not good TV.
But yeah, can I justify the difference between my £700 Les Paul and a £7,000 Les Paul? No, I can't.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is there are some companies that have tried the like boutique custom shop attention to detail from overseas. I remember I actually had one and I sold it. Ibanez came out with a series. One was called the ARC 500, and they made it was like a Les Paul style shaped guitar, single cut ish kind of thing, but it was made in China. They wanted to see what they could produce out of one of their like custom sections of their factory, and the fretwork. If you saw the fretwork on this guitar, it was unbelievable. It had wood binding running up the sides, a different color wood binding, and the frets were completely rounded like a half circle on the sides, polished like you wouldn't believe. And they were going, I think, but back then, early 2000s, like $800 or $900 brand new. But I don't think it was cost effective, probably for the time it took to build those things versus the money. And they only made them for a short run, and then they made a like a 335 one, and I had bought that as well. And now on the used market, if you're able to find one in mint condition, I sold mine to a buddy who sold it to another buddy of mine who then sold it and regretted it and actually found another one and actually bought it back. And I got the chance to look at it, and it's the same, different guitar, but it's, serial number, but it's the attention to detail was absolutely outstanding. But I think Phil, even you just made body language of it. It's for them to create that, time is money, you know what I mean? And if you're only selling it for $700 or $800, it's probably not worth it in the end.
If you think, and I think I said this a few weeks ago, if you think that there are not Chinese manufacturers that build guitars at the same level as any of your favorite boutique USA made guitars, you are out of your mind, because they absolutely are. What doesn't make sense is exporting those to the US where they don't have name recognition, where they don't have a buyer's market, and instead they only sell to other people in China. There are absolutely boutique builders in the Far East building at the highest possible level.
Yeah.
We just don't see them.
No.
Yeah. David, LMA, he says, I remember when we had fun and now it's a weekly show and tell. Cheers, gents.
That is fun.
That is fun. That's definitely fun.
I'm not sure if that's a dig or not.
It's a dig. It's at me. I'll take it. It's fine. I like it.
Wes, the maddening thing about the Nano Cortex is that it doesn't have subdivisions on the delay, like dotted eighth, nor does it have tap tempo, right?
I haven't dug into it since I haven't done the update. Apparently, the delays are much improved.
Okay.
If it doesn't have tap tempo, then it's difficult, and you don't have the subdivisions. How can you have a subdivision when you haven't got a tempo?
Yes, absolutely.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you have when you have a delay plugin in a DAW, obviously it has a reference, it has a tempo. Whereas, how could you have a subdivision when you don't have a tempo?
Well, you couldn't. I mean,
Well, you've got a tempo, you just don't have a tap tempo.
yeah, and
So
also
you've got a rate, but you have no way to go tap 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 to find your tempo. You better just know it.
We did a really good video on how to do dotted eights without dotted eights.
I'm going to try and speak. Axe-Fx has a tempo. Axe-Fx, yeah, you set tempo per patch.
All right. Okay. That just shot me down then.
Next, Sir ramped up production and producing thousands still stellar, but not boutique anymore. Also noticed some slips in quality. Is Sir not considered boutique anymore?
I would call them boutique.
I would call. Well, I'm hoping this boutique. I've just bought a Sir that I might need to sell quite soon. So,
should we do the news because it won't take very long? And
real quick on this though, I think Sir and Collings are the two biggest boutique companies. They are either the biggest boutiques or the smallest major manufacturers. You decide which you see them as.
That's a yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Here we go. Share screen. So yeah, as we've just been talking about, Neural DSP Nano 2.0 brings 47 new effects. Yeah, so we'll have a look at that. I think maybe James will do a video on this. I think maybe you should.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is if you have a moment, watch Henning's video on this.
How long is it? How long is it?
17 hours. He comes at it very, very left of center. I mean, it's typically Henning, but it's brilliant in a hilariously Henning kind of way.
Which pajamas is he wearing?
It's the crash helmet that I was more concerned about, and I'm actually not joking.
Oh God.
Yeah. Bless him.
Hey, and they gave it out for free, unlike Kemper.
What's that?
Sorry, that was a dig. Kemper has updates for the Kemper, but you have to pay for those.
Yeah.
So
talking about Neural DSP. So Neural DSP are basically the dark glass guys as well. So this is the anagram. It's basically a bass effects.
It looks awesome.
Oh, that's not true. Korg is dark glass. Korg bought dark glass in 2022.
Did they? Oh, so they're no longer.
This is Korg.
They don't own it anymore.
This is Korg.
Oh.
So when are they going to make one of these for guitar players then?
Right. Where's my HX Stomp Killer?
Wow.
I guess bass players need love too.
Absolutely.
It's like we made this specifically for mandolin players.
It's not cheap though.
What's the
Well,
cost?
what isn't cheap? What you class?
When I saw a multi effects type thing for bass players was like 900 quid. I was like, okay, that's quite a lot of dough. I mean, it looks like it's built like a brick house.
Bass players are dropping $2,000 for a Noble DI.
Guys, right, I've got to show you something. Are you telling me that's not the same company?
It is not the same company. The inspiration's definitely from the same place, but that is not the same company.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I get designers to jump ship.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, even the fanning, like the grilling on the side is the same as the effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll see that in the automotive industry. They'll get designers to jump ship from one brand to the other. I know back in the day, Sig Sauer, the weapons manufacturer, got a bunch of guys from H&K to go over to them and start designing weapons for them. So it's
but
it's all over.
Yeah. If you look at the typeface, even on the
it looks very cool.
Yeah. It's really cool. It is really cool. It is for bass players.
I like the tuner.
Yeah, it's cool. It's all it does some good things. It's $1,000 ish. I mean, I don't know. It's a bass multi effects. Multi effects cost £1,000. I think that's what it costs.
Yeah,
I don't think that's overpriced. Are bass players into multi effects? I think that's the question.
Joe Branton likes them. That's all I know.
Yeah, right. These rotters,
Right up your alley, Paul.
This is I'm going to start the collection.
I was just going to say that you should collect all 4.
I don't know. It just feels like Ghost are releasing a new album and then this sort of shite comes out. I don't know.
I can't.
Oh God! I mean, look at that. Look at the headstock. Jesus.
And they use that bad Panama City Beach tattoo logo that they use. That I hate that version of their logo.
Yeah,
they're not for me. I'm not gonna be super negative about it because I know that this is for an audience that isn't me.
Yeah. No, that is fair.
Do you see the shirt I'm wearing? Is there a world where a dude who owns this shirt would own that guitar?
Dude, that would be awesome though if you walked out on stage like that and it had a crazy ass V or a warlock or something.
I would love the guy who plays at Saddleback on a Sunday morning for the rock the rock service to turn up with that guitar.
Yeah. You said Ghost. I've been watching some of their videos over the years. That one of the guitar players they have, because I don't know who the hell he is using a white Strat with a bunch of, it looks like hot rails or something in it. It's got 3 single coils. It looks like they're either hot rails or some railed something. Either Seymour Duncan's, or I think they're DiMarzios, and he's got some really good chops. I've been watching him, like his technique when he's playing. He's a good player, and he's just using a Strat.
I can imagine you like Ghost because of that awful band that you sent me.
King Diamond, come on.
What's the name of that band?
King Diamond, come on, man.
Jesus.
Let's get some love down in the comments. For King.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, definitely not my bag.
Michael Hennessy says big variable is wood. I've been cabinet maker for 20 years. Wood does what it wants. 2 of the same beautiful guitars play differently.
That's true.
That's true.
Absolutely. Mr. Shahaba, my synergy module Killer Kelly is very bright. Do synergy modules typically require a darker amp? An amp? How do you mean a darker amp? What are you plugging into, Shahar? So most of the synergy modules, are you going into an amp?
Didn't he buy just the block to take the modules? They didn't buy the whole.
Oh, okay, yeah, and maybe he's running it sort of cable method in the effects. Yes, have a look at on the back of the module. There's some switches. One of them might be for the high end response. Have a look.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of variation in those modules.
Yeah. Do you think Tonix One would be a good way to demo amps? I don't otherwise have access to. There's a bunch I want to try, but don't have around. Figure it could be doable as a backup direct solution.
Yeah, definitely way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, James and I did a video today of. I'm trying to think. Would that sort of cover that video we did today?
Yeah, I think so. We've done some videos today that are potentially quite controversial or controversial. I think it's going to get people who use real amps to think about modelers, and people who use modelers stroke capture devices to think about real amps again.
Yeah. We basically proved they're not. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. But they've all got. But there's a purpose for all of it.
I think it's a way to get a vibe. I think the same thing about things like the Captor X for auditioning speaker cabinets and for speaker types. It's not going to be exactly the same, but you can get an idea.
Yeah.
At this point, we should do this.
I can't even pronounce the first word.
Texas Les Paul.
Texas. Thanks, mate. Texas Les Paul. Of course it is. Thanks, Texas Les Paul. Anybody decided on what their desert island super strat would be?
Well, Paul's been on that mission for quite some time now.
Yes. So I haven't had them all arrived yet. So super strats. My James Tyler has gone to be reworked. Yeah. So I haven't got that. I'm missing it at the moment. So I bought something else today that turned up today. That I'm not sure about.
You haven't plugged it in yet, have you?
I have plugged it in. I've plugged it in. I've changed the strings. I've done a quick setup. I've literally spent 20 minutes on it. And I'm, if you haven't got that, are you guys the same? If you don't get that initial, I love it. Minutes, you just go. It's a funny. It just eats away at me.
Yeah, and sometimes you just got to walk away from it and try it another day.
Yeah,
I usually know if I'm going to like a guitar long before I ever plug it in.
Yeah,
almost always. I'm rarely wrong on that front. If I pick it up and play it unplugged, and I don't enjoy playing it, like outside of setup, all those things, because I can usually tell if it's just a setup issue. I know it's not going to be a guitar for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well, thanks, Texas Les Paul. Much appreciated.
Oh, but I do have my Desert Island Super Strat.
Oh, go on. Oh, sorry. Go on, guys. Go for it. Yeah.
You know what? Having had you round today, Paul, and I know you sold me the guitar.
Yeah.
But my God, that Schecter's good. That is now my number one.
It's a great guitar. It's a USA custom shop Schecter. It is
nice.
Awesome.
I would take my K line. I think if I had to pick something right now, it would be my K line.
Awesome. I think my I've got a Shabbat coming and the Tyler's coming back. I'm hoping the Tyler's coming back with some really fancy pickups in it.
I'm quite pleased with the Tyler overseas pickups.
Yeah,
and I have to say I can get quite a variation of tone out of that with that mid boost thing. I've been trying it and it's actually pretty cool, especially in the cleans. Distorted, I shut it off, but in the cleans it sounds great. I mean, so I don't know, maybe that would be the Desert Island one.
This is a new one.
Oh, sorry. Neckdet says I couldn't find any single issue with Tom Anderson's. They are something else. They produce 1,200, 1,300 a year. Oh, sorry, 12 to 1,300 a year, no more. No artist models, no marketing, no silly. Still fully booked. Order today, delivering 6 to 12 months. Nice.
Yeah,
they make nice guitars.
They do. They make great guitars. That was never a question. I like their artist roster. I like the fact that Tom Anderson goes after lesser known up and coming artists. They've got several women artists on their roster, which is a rare thing in boutique guitar brands. I still don't think they're all perfect. They have flaws just like other guitars do too.
Oh, sorry. I thought no, I'm not. I'm going to stop now before I dig myself a really big hole.
Al says, have you seen Henning's video on the Nano Cortex? Riding his one-wheel remote vehicle thingamabob in the countryside while playing his EVH. Certainly a different way to do a review.
You nailed thingamabob, but had trouble with Texas Les Paul?
If it was TX in capital letters, space, Les Paul,
sure.
I'd have got it.
You forget as well, we spent a week with Al in a very small hotel room.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. Greg Steffi, my friend had one recorded parts for a song with me and it sounded fine, played well, but he sold it later.
No idea.
Don't
guitar.
know. Yeah, a guitar. Might be worth just because the questions come later. If it's something, it might be worth putting the blah 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 that guitar, whatever. Anyway, Basil, only buy gear based on the sound and feel and never consider resale value. Interesting. Of course.
I think that was during the investment conversation.
Yeah.
I always consider resale value.
I don't always, but I definitely think about it.
I think it depends on how much it is.
Yeah.
I think if I'm spending 5,000 quid on a guitar, I'm gonna consider the resale value. If I'm spending 150 quid, it's like I always say. When parents ask me about drum kits for students, I always say, for God's sake, don't go and buy, no offense, Gear for Music, a cheap £200, $200 drum kit from Gear for Music. Because tomorrow afternoon, when little Johnny or Jenny is bored of drums and you sell it,
It's firewood.
It's worth about 25 quid. Whereas if you go on eBay and you buy a Pearl Export that's a couple of years old, or a half decent Yamaha, whatever, for the same money, tomorrow afternoon, when Johnny or Jenny are bored of drums, it's still worth that money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difficult one. People go, "Oh, that's a really good idea." I'm like, no, it's basic economics.
Yep.
Basil, framing as controversy is a misfire. It's like saying you'll say things people already agree with. There we go.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Wes, amen on the Anderson thing. He has had a music shop since the 60s, and guess what? He helped fund an amp brand. Big deal. Salesmen should be looking to grow their brands. Yeah.
Totally agree, Wes.
Yeah.
Basil, of course, Anderson's is selling you, but there's no reason to be less than absolutely clear if you're involved with it. But that means he's got to say, I mean, Lee's involved with loads of different things, but surely he hasn't got, I mean, he does, he says it now because I think he's been made to say it. I don't think he needs to say.
If you watch Mr. Sportscoat, Mitch Gallagher on a Sweetwater video,
right?
Because it says Sweetwater in the top left-hand corner, you know it's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
No offense to Mitch, but he works for a shop that sells stuff. If you watch an Anderton's video, you know they're trying to sell you a thing because that's what they do. They're
right, because they're not reviewing stuff, they're demoing stuff. There's a difference. And if Lee had his own channel and didn't disclose that, then you'd be like, okay, this is kind of shady. He's in cahoots with so and so. But
I had a conversation last year at Fretboard Summit in Chicago with a guitar shop in the U.S. I won't name them. You probably not heard of them. They're not like a Sweetwater or a Guitar Center kind of thing, but they're a reasonable size shop in the Midwest, and they were asking me as like a tiny podcaster YouTuber, like, what should we be doing as a shop that we're not doing? I said, do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have anything you're doing like that to sell the stuff that's in your store? And their quote was, why should we do that when there are XYZ Andertons, Peach, Norm's Rare Guitars, whatever? I said, because they aren't selling to your community. If you want to survive in your community, you need to create that experience for the people in your community, and you need to be engaging to sell them those things.
Yeah.
But yes, that means you're constantly sales pitching.
yeah.
And also, people have forgotten that, okay, the internet is a worldwide thing, but the person who lives next door to the guitar shop is still going to watch their videos.
Exactly.
Just because you live next door to a guitar shop doesn't mean you don't have a phone.
100%. 100%.
Dave, evening all. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Unbelievable, Dave. Been playing my new Tonex pedal with my new presets. What a machine. Awesome.
Glad you agree.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, Dave.
And if you're looking for some more presets, Dave, do check out the downloads page at thestudiorats.net. We can help you out there. We have over 500 patches now.
I think you should have disclosed that you're part of the Studio Rats at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
When did that happen?
I almost ran.
Right.
That was scary.
We got dark ball for a second there.
When it's something bad happens, I'm just going to do this.
Floating head. It's just a floating head of Paul.
Does it float? Does it float? Hold on. It does.
Yeah. If you had a turtleneck on, it'd be the full experience.
Mr. Beast fan. I missed a Beast fan. I got a new book club for you. Frankie McBride by John Lithgow. Well, thank you, Mr. Beast fan. Yeah, I know the Great Horn Spoon. We missed it. I still haven't checked out the Great Horn Spoon. And I'm Pepe from Asia. I eat penguins in ketchup. I don't know what's going on. I like gear too much to see it as an investment, like betting on a sports team I like or something. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, don't bet on teams you like. That's a path to tears.
Yeah, I don't think you should look at it as investment, but I think you should be you should consider that if you don't like the particular thing, be aware of how much money you'd lose.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just good economics.
Always, only ever bet with the amount you can afford to lose. Which was when I go to Vegas, twice. I don't put much money in the machines because,
yeah.
It's the same conversation I have when somebody's asking me if they should buy XYZ boutique guitar. I tell them, all right, in your decision-making process, you need to know I'm probably not getting this cost out of it if I move it on later. If you're okay with that, awesome. Go with it and do it. But be mindful.
Yeah. Boom.
Keith, looking for a simple rig. I'm thinking Friedman Pink Taco and Jam Pink Flow for gushing tone. Do you think it's loud enough for 3-piece band? Yeah, the Pink Taco. What's the Pink Taco? Is that 20 watts?
I was gonna say, isn't it 20 watts?
Yeah. Can I suggest, as opposed to the Pink Flow, have a look at the Cockness Monster? I think because the only thing about the Pink Flow, I'm looking at them both at the moment.
Show off.
No, I don't mean it's a show. The seagull effect, you're never going to use it. It's very much of that Pink Floyd thing. I think the Cockness Monster, which is cheaper, I think, is arguably a better pedal.
I agree. I think it's got a better pedal assembly of pedals in that.
Yeah. I'll bring over the Cockness Monster just quickly. It's like, so it's you've got oh shit, what have you got? yeah. Actually, I can't remember.
You got Drew, the effects demonstrator, everyone.
Yeah, you've got a delay. You've got the harmonious. So you've got the Delay Llama. Then you've got the harmonious monk.
And isn't there a Lucy Dreamer in there? Or
you got the double dream. You've got the double dreamer, which is the dual tube screamer, which is really good. And the fuzz, I can't remember the name of the fuzz, but that's the best fuzz.
That's the Eureka fuzz.
Yeah, it's the Eureka.
It's the Eureka fuzz, yeah.
Sick that I know that. I'll tell you what, I have the Tube Dreamer, their Tube Screamer version.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, that is the best Tube Screamer I've ever owned.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, really good. Especially in front of a Marshall, it sounds killer.
Yeah.
Is 20 watts loud enough for a 3-piece?
Well, how loud's the drummer? Is it a loud drummer?
That's the question, isn't it? It's not even that.
If you're going for a Pink Taco, I'd say you're not particularly worried about clean headroom.
No.
So, yeah.
Fine.
On it, I'm going to say if you're looking at 20 watts and you want that Marshall style sound, the PRS HDRX 20 is half the price and it's loud as hell.
That's a good shout. It's a really good shout. Yeah, I mean, and arguably a similar. I mean, the Pink Taco can probably get a bit more gain out of it.
Yeah. And the Friedman may have a effects loop. The HDRX doesn't. So
what about the PRS MT15? That's a crackingly loud amp.
Yeah, but that's a very
different sound.
Very genre specific amp. That's a very different sound. Yeah, if you want something that's not as versatile. Right. But yeah, great amp. You're right. It's a great amp.
And damn loud. We proved it.
Yeah. Really loud. Sorry. Herb says, "Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone's doing well." And you, Herb. Al says, "Loving your recent tracks, Vinny, on your channel. Nice.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it."
Mr. Beast fan. Jivey lives in Iceland. Paul lives in Miller, England. Vinny lives in Louisiana. And Plaid Shirt Guy lives in Pakistan.
No, I am an Arab American though, so I'll take that.
And you definitely could tell my Louisiana accent.
What's your yeah? Are you saying Arab American?
I'm Lebanese. Lebanese.
That's it. You've told us before, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't live in Iceland.
I don't know what.
You know, we do have a freezer, but I don't live in Iceland. That joke only translates if you realise. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, if you're English. Mr. Beast fan, Paul, do you have a gas mask or an oxygen mask? If you put it on, also, if any of the other guys, please put it on. I have not got a clue what's going on, Mr.
Me
Beast
either.
fan.
Mr. Beast fan,
go through. We'll quickly. Vinny.
Yeah,
sorry, we'll quickly go through this. Vinny's 27, Paul 64, Jarvis 77, and Plague Guy 26. I don't know what's going on.
Me either.
We've been totally taken over by a guy who we actually find slightly amusing. That's the problem.
Good. It's good. No. Let's get through. We've got loads to get through.
You are in a dangerous place right now. You're about to get booted, so be careful.
No, he's all right. He's all right. Celestian Redback. Nice, yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I have a Neo Cream. It's okay too. Nice.
Great shout. So, are we? No, I'm just not going to go there because I haven't got time.
Jim's, what's good? What good is raising prices so high that even before the price hikes, Guitar Gear is not selling well? See large price cuts at my local GC and used gear here in the state of PA. Where's PA?
Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah, doesn't make sense.
It's not about good. It's about that's what they have to sell it for to make the money back on it because it just costs more. They're not raising the prices for fun. I promise.
Yeah.
No.
Greg, bolt-on necks are overpriced.
God, I hate this argument.
It takes a lot more skill and labor to do Gibson. Yes, Les Paul.
This is an incredible guitar.
I own one. Very nice.
Yeah, this is an incredible guitar. It is also a bolt-on, and it is worth every penny, especially if you look at their bolt-on system. It's not just slab of wood on slab of wood. They have keystones that lock it in place in there. The argument bolt-on versus set neck, yes, it does take more skill and a little more precision to do the set neck, but it does not mean bolt-on guitars are overpriced.
Absolutely.
Every time you say how the neck is attached to the guitar, all I hear in my head is bolt-on.
I'm not sure. You do these very English specific.
I know, and I'm really sorry, but I can't help it. It's like I'm about to do a review of a plugin called the Indelay, and every time I say the word Indelay, all I hear is yiba in my head.
Oh God!
I watch just enough British entertainment and BBC to get about half of them. So that's the scary part.
But that's a Mexican Speedy Gonzalez cartoon joke.
Endorson USA tires are 16K in Australia. Yes, but the value, the difference in value of
the Australian dollar is not worth the same as the American dollar. That's not the same thing.
No, it's definitely not. 64 cents US to $1 Australian.
But that is still a hell of a price of guitar.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. Ain't no doubt. Fra M, what happened to Fender manufacturing in China? Is Jackson Guitar Pro Plus series are made there? What's that?
They'll go up.
They'll go up. There we go.
Yeah,
their prices will go up.
Mad Max, I only buy cheap guitars and then mod them to the bone. They sound as good as top brands and only cost me half the price. Yes, the only problem is, Max, if you put all those parts so they become like a bit of a parts caster thing, the guitar is not going to be worth the amount of money that you put into it. That's the only issue. But fantastic. If you can hang on to them and you love them, absolutely brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Before we go on, just Paul, I wanted to tell you before, don't take the finish off the back of the neck of the Gibson Murphy Lab.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll devalue the shit out of that guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I know you like to get rid of stuff like me, so just.
No, well, that guitar's a keeper for me, but I need to. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you that before.
Boys, do you think we're in a place where very soon we're going to see Fender Squires cost more than so Chinese Squires? Where Squire? There must be Chinese, I'm guessing.
Yes, they are. I think they are Chinese made.
Right.
I can answer this question.
Are we going to see a time very soon where a Chinese Squire is more expensive than a Mexican Fender? or even a basic
Oh,
run,
Steve.
like a lowest
Well,
run.
I
American.
mean, look at the LTD guitars. Some of them are pushing almost $2,000.
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
But I think we're going to
There might
see
be
what.
some, Phil. I think there's some squires that are Chinese.
Oh, there definitely are.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a time soon where a Fender Squire or a Squire Strat, say, will be more expensive than a Classic Vibes.
Yeah, possibly. I think.
Well, I mean, Classic Vibe is the Squire.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah, you
not.
mean like a Mexican. You mean
yeah.
a Mexican one?
A Mexican, yeah, a
Classic
Mexican
player.
Classic
Classic
player.
player.
Yes, sorry, yes.
It's okay. Fender has completely discombobulated everyone on what any of their series are. They have a Strat at every $100 mark. I think so. I think we're getting real close to it.
Yeah. Craziness.
Teletext 82. PRS SE guitars are more consistent than non-custom shop Fender or Gibson USA ones.
Disagree.
There we go.
And I've played a lot of them. I've played a lot of both of those things. All three of those things.
I've had I went into Anderton's once and tried a baritone SE, and it was one of the worst guitars that I've ever played.
Yeah. I've gone through a few SEs in a PRS journey that I went on, and about 50-50.
Greg Steffi, I just bought a Squire Starcaster just to see how the quality was. I was shocked at how great it was. I have a PRS Core Duesenberg. I love a Duesenberg. And many more high-end, and have used the Squire the last 2 weekends. Nice one.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
What's the guitar player, Cat from Marillion? He's still playing his Squire. I think it's been refretted like 9,000 times, I'm sure, by now. Right? He's played the hell out of that.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I forgot his name. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
And Dawson, check out Eastman. Great Instruments SB59. It's a great list. But yeah, we talked about
and it's $2,000.
Yeah,
it's not. Greg Steffi loves Squire Starcasters. Yes, Steve's a big fan of Starcasters.
Steve Rothery.
Steve Rothery, well done, mate.
I got there in the end.
Typical Henning. That guy's fun. Designed by IKEA. Henning's definitely designed by IKEA. Teletext wasn't the former CEO of Dark Glass one of the founders of Neural DSP? Yes, but as Phil said, that they sold to Korg. France, where Vinny could be Joe Satriani's double. I'd love to see you all play your now favorite lick. Go.
Stunt double, maybe, but not the playing part.
Greg, Tanix captures all over the place. Not the best way to reference an amp.
Luckily, you've got the Studio Rats doing them, and you know that those are consistent.
Yeah, well, yeah, we try and be consistent. Yeah,
and we try and do them really well.
And full disclosure, James and Paul are part of the Studio Rats, and they're affiliated with the Studio Rats.
If KDH is watching, we are the Studio Rats.
Yeah. Yes, and we sell captures. Gary, evening. By no means a metalhead, but I saw Ghost at the O2 on Saturday, and it was a phenomenal gig. I bet they're amazing live.
I bet they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, not my that sort of theatrical rock. It's not for me.
Did they let people that aren't amazing play the O2? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. It's a very average band at the O2. Mainly in support slots, to be fair. But
okay.
Oh,
yeah, Shahar says, I used to send one with 4 cable method using the EVH 5150 EL34. Had to tame the presence on the amp when I'm using the Synergy as the preamp. Interesting.
I bet you would.
5153 is a very high presency kind of amplifier. I used to own one, and it was hard to dial out that high end kind of. Yeah.
Mad Max would take. I would take my EVH Wolfgang Special Black Stealth. Nice.
Nice. Very nice guitar.
And then Geist, Vinny, King Diamond is awesome. There we go. Abigail is
Ben
still
gets the awesome comment of the week.
This is Vinny's wife. Vinny's wife is Ben van der Geest. Hey, I bet she's sick of listening to King Diamond as well, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't think she's a fan.
Michael Denner and Andy LaRocque are amazing players. They are. No, it's great. You know, music is meant to be different. If music wasn't, if music was all the same, it would be boring. That's why it's.
If we were all the same and thought the same and listened to the same, we'd live in North Korea.
Absolutely. There we go.
Yeah.
Loving the live stream. Rats, cheers, Ben. Greg Eastwood. Yes, talked about Eastwood. Eastwood was the one that said a friend had, and it was fine. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Sorry. Yes, he was. Yeah. In Dawson, I thought Mitch was Mr. Sweetwater.
I love Mitch. He wouldn't know me from Adam, I'm sure, but I've met him on a couple of events and stuff, and like
He's a nice guy.
He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy. You just want to hug him and feed him soup.
I sold him a piece of gear once on Reverb. That's all I know.
Yeah, nice
yeah. It just happened to be who bought it.
Did he go, "Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher"? Did he do the as well?
This weird pointy thing.
Oh, look at that.
Hey!
Look at this.
He's got a Kenny Rogers vibe for me.
Yeah, he has got a Kenny Rogers vibe. You're right.
Or Do Brothers, Michael McDonald.
Oh yeah, he does have that, doesn't he?
Oh,
Let's get through. We got loads.
Yeah, let's
Steve,
keep going.
actually, the great video recently about reviews versus demos. I like Rob. Dave Hardy, I already bought 3 packs. That's cheers, Dave.
hey, thanks, sir. Which ones? Tell us. We want to know.
No, we haven't got time for him to tell us. Evening all, just joined during the sales pitch discussion. Reminds me of during COVID. Do you remember the app Clubhouse, which was like online community debate rooms? I remember one guy saying, life is a pitch. Everyone online will be pitching something.
Yeah, it's true.
Gear is an investment in my health and happiness. Nice
Amen.
one.
Amen.
Blue Note guitar best quote of the yes. That was
Yeah,
that was
definitely,
yes,
yeah.
like that. That's quote of the year. Jez Bass, what's your thoughts on Celestian impulse response speaker? Think about the sound coming from the other end rather than pedals. Great show as always.
I think some of the Celestian impulse responses are the best ones out there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've got the pack. They sent me the pack. There's just too many.
Yes.
Too many. It's just like millions of tunes.
Find the greenback or find the vintage 30. Bang. There you go.
PRS HX20 head going for $4,000.
Next comment.
400. Sorry. God, thank God. Graham, I saw 1983 Japanese Squire in cash converters done Firmline on the other day. For $1,000. Wow. What?
Well, it has to be said, those Japanese Squires, in many, many cases, were brilliant guitars.
Yeah,
they were some of the best Squires. I mean, we had one. I remember we had one at school, and we had an 80 Squire, and everyone went, "This is way better than most of our actual guitars." And school instruments are generally dogs,
trash. Yeah. The apocryphal quote or anecdote is that when they got the first shipment of Japanese Squires in at Fender in the 80s,
they were American necks. No.
The quote is that the guy, whoever it was unboxing them to inspect the first ones, had to take it immediately to whoever the CEO at the time was and be like, "We got a problem." He said, "Are they bad?" He said, "No, they're better than what we make here." That I don't know if that's true. That's the quote that goes around, though.
Yeah, there's a bunch of urban legends with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mr. Boone, Chris, James and I was a friend from Gibson in the US. Chris says, "I'm working on your Murphy Lab situation. Hang in there. Cheers, Chris."
Oh, Chris,
but you see, that is the customer service that you get from American manufacturing.
I know that people want to trash all over Gibson, but in my interactions with their customer service, I have yet to have a bad experience. You want to know which one I had a really bad experience with? PRS.
Really?
I had a PRS with finish flaws from the factory. They told me to kick rocks.
Hey, do you know how much PRS quoted me to refinish a custom 24?
Oh gosh, I'm scared to know.
Have a guess.
Because they give me a quote too, and I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. I don't know.
£1,750.
What? I was going to say $1,500. So that's pretty close.
Yeah, well, it's not because £1,750 is probably more like 2,000.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
$2,000. Yeah.
Sorry, I did the conversion in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy.
yeah. That's not me trashing PRS. Although I am known as a I don't love PRS guitars. They're beautiful, but that experience plus some other things, it's why I won't own another PRS guitar.
Yeah. Wadey, hey Paul, that Crazy Tube Circuits Venus is bonkers. How I redig it. Yes, it's great. It's a really fantastic pedal. Crazy Tube Circuits make some of the best pedals out there.
Yeah. Steve Rothery.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's funny. Steve Rothery got in contact to buy one of the amps, didn't he? One of my amps.
Yeah.
Max. Eric Clapton used to play Squire Stratocaster 2. Eric Clapton did. I didn't know that. Jez Bass, 1,000 for cash converters. Guitar bloody Nora. Shahar, I'm going to Shredfest concert tonight. Obscura, Atheist, Origin, Fractal Universe, and Decrepit Birth. Do you know any of these bands? No.
They're all on the tip of my YouTube playlist or my Apple Music playlist.
And I reckon that's Phil's. Yeah, that's definitely Phil's playlist.
These sounds like brands of absinthe.
Session Gold. DVX claims the 560A is the same as the old 160A. Do you think that too?
No, because the 160s are amazing, and the 560s, it's a different op amp, it's a different circuit. Just no.
Just see, yes. Okay, great, nice one. Blue Note.
Stop it.
I know these are different, but Tonix pedal, the new Tone King Imperial pedal. Interesting. With Tonix, you're going to get more variation, but the Tone King's got valves in it, so
it's better.
Tonix for me.
Interesting.
I have a 1983 Japanese Squire Strat with Fender hardware. It's way better than any Strat with Fender on the headstock. I made it around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Mad Max Shahar Bar, don't worry about enjoying the show. One of them will be Future Legends one day. I still remember seeing U2 and Metallica, and there was only 150 people watching the show. Awesome. Oh, God. No. You overalls? Dave Hardy, British Rock Pack, Marshall BMP1. And Soldano Rack. Going to use them at my gig on Saturday. Nice one, Dave.
So Dave's the person who bought the Marshall VMP1. I think it's safe to say not our biggest seller.
There we go. Yo, 40 watts is Mr. Anderson 59.
Hello, Mr. Anderson.
Pete Stones.
Pete Stones. Love Pete Stones. Do you have your Venus or was it a loaner for the review? If you still have it, you should include it in the Tonix captures. I do still have the Venus. Yes.
He's got it.
I've got it.
Yeah, baby. He's got it.
Oh, man. Throwback. Yeah. You're showing our age there, Javi.
Thanks, a great show. Anytime, mate. Two more from what are they sensible? I don't know.
No, skip them.
No, just no.
Do you know?
All these
jiving these jive.
Ooh.
Hey, I'm up for this. I don't know what's going on, Mr. Beast fan. You've obviously lost it. Anyway.
I'm feeling mean. Do you want to see how bad I'm going to be? Boom. Bye, Beast fan.
Oh, there you go.
He's gone. Do you want to do a stupid comment?
Yeah.
This is funny.
I want to hear the jingle.
It's good.
Stupid comments of the week.
You want to hear that?
Yeah.
Right. Anyone has a go at me and my hair needs to take a good look at themselves.
He says, this is Biffin Bridge. He says, Jive Bunny's hair, virgin on a Liberace werewolf.
Quite frankly, you can go and do one because that was
Stupid comments of the week.
Liberace werewolf. It's good.
sod the lot of you. I've had a haircut now.
Hey, you've got hair.
I'm not laughing.
It's because I'm going on holiday in 6 weeks, and it was just virgin on that. I want to have fresh holiday hair before I go and sun myself in the beautiful island, the Mediterranean island, Menorca.
I hate you.
there you go. So up yours, whoever made that.
You guys can go to Hawaii for the same price that
No, we can't.
Can you not?
You know how much it costs and how long it takes
Yeah.
me to get to Hawaii.
It's as far from Phil to Hawaii as it is. It's further from Phil to Hawaii as it is from us to Phil.
Yeah.
A lot further.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
But
yeah.
Phil, America is in the way.
Okay. Can you guys go to Cuba yet?
I mean, I think we can, but I'm not
Why?
going to.
To be fair, for Phil, you have got the Caymans fairly close, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I mean, I do have the entire Caribbean if I really, wanted to go that kind of route.
The Caribbean to most normal speaking people.
Caribbean. I'm looking. We're gonna end. I'll tell you how long it takes me to get to Hawaii.
Go
That's a 14-hour flight. I'd bet
It is 11-hour flight, and it's gonna run me minimum. Now I picked arbitrary dates too, so that could change. Round trip, it's gonna cost me $1,200 plus tax.
Damn.
So bear in mind, 11 hours is us to Los Angeles.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'll give you
Well,
that.
for me to get to Hawaii, I have to go to Los Angeles and then further.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's a pleasure. We do this for fun on a Wednesday night because it's just fun to catch up with the people from around the world and put the musical world to rights. I'm not sure we've done that tonight. I'd like to think we've maybe started our own little controversial tack towards the right direction of musical genius, but I'm not really that sure. And I'm 2 bottles of wine in, so I don't really care. We'll be back. They're only
Okay. They're not 750 milliliter bottles.
The whole Attack of the 50-Foot Woman thing kicks in, where the bottle looks huge. But
Gotcha.
Hold on. Last question before we go. Paul, when you going to demo the new Pussy Melter pedal? This is the new satchel pedal, isn't it?
They made a new one?
They did. They made a mini one. I think it's a mini one. I mean, look, this demonstrating the pussy melter. I mean, it's a pussy melter.
There's got to be a gag there about.
Melter.
There's got to be a gag there about fingering. Sure.
Oh God.
Oh no, Jay. No. Oh, you just took it. I'm sorry, guys. Take it too far now. It's taken too far. We need to go. James. What the hell are you doing? Jesus. We're going to get banned. We are going to get banned. Anyway.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. You probably won't be here next week. I'm not sure we'll be here next week.
I don't think anybody's going to be here next week after that.
Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Stay safe. Have a great weekend of gigging and stuff, and we'll see you very soon. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Adios.